Hey guys, what's up? It's Brittany here with Midwest Performance, and we're talking today with MP member Shauna Becker about how to celebrate the NonScale Victories.
We're Midwest Performance. We're on a mission to empower women around the world to take action and work hard to make a physical impact in their lives. In this very saturated fitness industry, there's tons of competition, but the opportunities are incredible. We'll cover the most common challenges in the fitness world and invite guests to the show that have learned to overcome them and share their strategies with you. This is the Coffee with MP show.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Brittany here with Midwest Performance, and we're talking today with MP member Shauna Becker about how she's been able to celebrate the NonScale Victories throughout her time here at Midwest Performance as well as during her fitness journey. So welcome to the show, Shauna.
Nice.
The first thing I want you to share with everybody out there at home who's listening and watching is what you tell us about yourself. Tell us who you are, about your family, about your work, she's in school too. So tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, thanks. So I'm Shauna. Hi. I am 32 years old. I actually work at Allstate and I manage their website.
Okay.
So some really great stuff. But like Brittany mentioned, I'm finishing up my MBA.
That's awesome.
I actually graduate in about 2 weeks, so it's really exciting. I have a lot of adulting to do this year. I'm getting married in August.
Yay.
And for me, I've been with MP for a little over a year now at this point.
Awesome. So I think what I asked Shauna before we actually got started, what she wanted to talk about, what she wanted to bring to the table, and she really wanted to talk about some of the non-scale victories that she's been able to have. So Shauna, I want you to share with everybody kind of your journey leading up to how you got to MP from, I know you were an athlete in your, few years back, I don't know if it was in high school, college, and then got through some injuries. Tell us a little bit about your journey prior to MP.
Yep, absolutely. So I've been an athlete my entire life. From my 2 years old, I think I started playing basketball, did every sport imaginable. Then I got to high school and really focused more on maybe just two sports, basketball and soccer. Then when I went to college, I went to a little small D3 because I really wanted to play sports and I wanted to keep playing and stay active. So I went to Cornell College in Mount Vernon, Iowa, a little small little D3, and got to play soccer there. I was also able to get the chance to play basketball, but this is kind of where my story starts. So my first weekend as a freshman, opening weekend, I was going to get to start, and my parents were coming out from Illinois to Iowa. Actually tore my ACL.
Oh no.
Yeah. Okay. So I never actually got to play a college basketball game, but that's okay because what was really interesting is I didn't know it was torn. So I played the entire season that way.
On a torn ACL.
On a torn ACL. It happens. I learned a lot of things about myself, about just how I am as an athlete at that point. But injury really does kind of change your mindset and how then you kind of come back after that. So again, I never got to play basketball, unfortunately, which was my passion as a kid, but I could still play soccer. So I went through all that, got through that season, had surgery right after, didn't end up playing basketball. Flash forward to my junior year, still playing soccer on the team, and I actually blew my rotator cuff. Oh my gosh. So it's hard. I was a goalkeeper, by the way, in case you guys are like, how did you blow your shoulder playing soccer? So I was a goalkeeper. So if you imagine my senior year, basically game-only status. I didn't really practice because I had a shoulder brace, I had a knee brace, and that was my college life. I was I wanted to play, and I had a passion for playing and being an athlete. But I was really injured. It was hard. It was hard. So then if you think about you're so used to that lifestyle and then you graduate college. What next? What do you do after that when you're so used to being active, when you're so used to being kind of in the heart of it? Because of all my injuries with my knee, you fast forward about maybe 2 or 3 years after college, I ended up having to go back and getting a second knee surgery to clean out the meniscus, all of the cartilage. A couple of years later, broke my ankle twice. I mean, I'm just super injury prone. But I think the point of it is that I don't let it stop me. So then if we think about a year ago, before I walked into the doors here at MP, I actually came in with a knee brace. Brittany probably remembers. I talked to her on the phone, and it was one of those, are you sure you're cleared to come back? And I was, but what had happened was I actually fractured my tibia, running too much and being a little too aggressive, coming back and not being, my muscles weren't as strong as they needed to be. So I was in a knee brace for about 6 to 8 months, letting that heal. So literally walking through this door a year ago, I wasn't able to walk. I barely could do a squat. It's really funny talking with the coaches today and being like, I remember when you first walked in and you couldn't do a squat. I couldn't do, I was doing little box jumps on a plates, but they were step ups. So it's the journey a year later has really evolved. I am proud to say that I come in here now and work my butt off, and I can do super tall box jumps. I mean, it's a huge victory, but it's hard. It's really hard to not want to stop yourself because you don't want to get hurt.
And I think,
makes sense.
Yeah, and I want, so I'm going to back up.
Sorry,
No, it's okay. It's okay. I want to back up now. This is good because we kind of preface all the questions that I'm going to ask you now. So I want to back up to your injuries in college, and I want to back up to the mindset past college. Talk a little bit about some of the struggles that you had, like mindset wise. I know physically you weren't able to do a lot of things, but I want to talk about the feeling of like just kind of being mentally broke at that point when you're so athletic and so active, and then literally just it's stopping you dead in your tracks.
It's hard. It is hard. I mean, when you are so used to a lifestyle, I mean, in college, you're running 3 days. You're waking up at 6 a.m., you're doing practices before class, you're doing practices at lunch, you're doing practices after class, you're doing them at night. I mean, you are so used to nonstop movement and nonstop activity that then you kind of have to re-find yourself after that point in time. I became very chill. I was like, there wasn't really things out there that motivated me to get out and stay active without having that kind of competitive nature or that support system to be like, let's go, let's go for a run. Running's not my thing. I don't like to run, but what was it that could fill that void? And it took me a couple years to really find something that then I would stick to and be consistent with to get back into like a strong shape, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that it's important for the people who are like you that are out there to know that injury doesn't have to be the end all say all of the rest of your life. And like, even if you don't come back exactly how you were pre-injury, that doesn't matter as long as you come back. It's the coming back and the appreciation and the grace that you give your body and yourself to be where you're at after injury, and to kind of just work from where you are and know and understand that you might not ever get back to where you were, but it's being active and living that lifestyle and doing that stuff that really matters, and that's really important. So I want to talk a little bit about now being at MP and kind of some of the non-scale victories, because I think that's really the aura around your story, is all of the victories that you've had coming back from all of the injuries. So let's talk about some of those victories that you feel are really imperative in your journey.
I think the first one was me just being okay with, to your point, who I am and where I was when I walked in the door. I came in with the mentality of, I can compete with every person next to me. I've done it my entire life. And then I actually go to do something and I couldn't do it because my body wasn't physically ready to do it. And then shifting my mindset and being like, that's okay. And this, being an MP, really having that environment that will help me understand what I'm capable of doing and still accelerating and watching me grow and evolve over the year and to get stronger and build that strength is a huge non-scale victory. I know I mentioned it earlier, but when I was barely able to step up on a plate, a little bumper plate, and I think about a month ago, I just did a 28-inch box jump. It's huge, it's awesome, scary, but huge and amazing. And it's really cool, and it makes you feel, it makes me at least feel, it's very empowering to feel strong. You know, the weight comes with it, it's great, and having that active lifestyle is awesome, but it's very empowering to feel just really good about where I've been and where I'm going and where I've come. Another one is even just like, I think my endurance. So like I said, I hurt myself from running, wasn't able to really walk. I was very sedentary just because I couldn't move. I can now actually make it through a workout. Some of these are really tough, and I get a little tired, but that's okay. But it's not nearly to where it was when I first started, and those are they're really exciting. I think the other one too is having the community here that we have, and I have a lot of close friends from being an MP. There's other women now that I didn't even realize look up to me, and they're like, well, you're picking up that way, I want to pick up that way, and it's like, oh, I didn't even think about it, because for me, I'm just doing me, you know, I'm just trying to get stronger, trying to do what I can, because a lot of these women too didn't know me a year ago. This gym has really grown and evolved, and it's awesome to see how we've really come together, and how these other women are just like, that's awesome. And I'm like, oh, I don't even think I'm doing anything that awesome.
Yeah, it's almost like you were looking up to them when you came in, and now they're looking up to you. It kind of has come full circle for you to understand like how you felt. Now other people are feeling the way you did, which is cool also. And I think that that's a testament to everything that happens here, is that we always tell ladies who come in here, like, understand that the person next to you was where you are right now at one point in time. And that's what makes us so special, is because you can relate to that person who has their first class and they're struggling and looking lost and feeling confused, and you're like, I got
It's
you.
okay.
It's okay
Right.
because
It's totally
I know
okay.
exactly how
Yeah.
you feel, but look where I'm at now.
Right.
And I think that's what's awesome about being here is that everybody feels so empowered, and like it gives you a different sense of meaning when you come into
Absolutely.
class, knowing
Absolutely.
that other people are looking up to you and that there are girls around you who are like, man, I really want to be like Shauna. It makes you want to be better.
Right, and it's not even then everything you know, everything in life and everything that you do has to be for yourself, you know, of course, but it only helps give you that extra push when you realize what it's doing for others too. And it's encouraging because I mean, there's days where, you know, being in grad school, trying to plan a wedding, trying to just grow up and be an adult where I'm busy and I can't make it. And I have people like, where are you? Like, we use you as our kind of pace setter. And I'm like, oh, me? Oh, okay. It's awesome because it's really great to feel like not only am I helping myself and building myself up, but I'm doing that for others inadvertently too.
Right.
So.
Yep. It kind of fills your cup a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it just makes you feel. It's not just coming in here and getting a good workout. It's knowing that you're helping somebody else get a good workout too, and you're changing their life one way or the other, impacting them one way or the other. And I think that's why we all do what we do, and that's why I do what I do. And I know that's why a lot of the people who are here come here because they just feel that sense of like community and like love and understanding and grace for each other, and like the urge to help somebody else get better is really, really high here. So I want to talk a little bit about Shauna and I have talked a lot about like the struggles that she's had and kind of changing your mindset around food. And I know that that's something that I want you to talk about because it's something that you've struggled with, and it's something that's been kind of it's been a piece of your journey along the way. And I think as of recently, you've kind of had a mindset shift on weight loss and all of that stuff, and kind of refocused on something different. So I want you to kind of touch on that a little bit.
I love food. It's not a secret. I really like food. And I like to eat food, but I think it's hand in hand with the injuries. So when you have and very used to having a very active life, then you get hurt and you can't really move or do that life that you were used to, and you're just sitting around and you're hungry, you just eat, you know? So I gone from a stage where it's very up and down. I had lost a lot of weight from getting back in the gym and being active, but I went too hard too soon. I wasn't really ready for it, hurt myself, gained all of that back because I'm just sitting around. I'm not supposed to move. I can't move. And then it was like, okay, well, now that I can move again, I need to really focus on losing all that weight. No, that was wrong. That was wrong, and that's really kind of that light bulb that went off between our conversation a couple months ago, and it was my scale weight. It goes up and down. It's going to go up and down, but I can tell you my pants fit better, my shirts fit better. I'm lifting heavier weights. Like I said, my stamina's higher. I can jump higher. All these things physically, whether or not I've lost the 10 pounds or not, has drastically changed the way I think about things and look at things, because my body is changing. The scale may not, but my body is changing, and it's for the better. I feel like it's giving me a healthier just way of thinking about me and thinking about how I am when I walk in. And how then I even look at food, because now it's not even like, oh, I have to set this diet, I have to do this, but I'm just like, no, I don't really want that cheeseburger. It looks delicious, but you know what? I'm going to just have, because I'm just in the mindset where I'm just going to make better choices to have it help support what I'm doing even more. And
I love that. And I think that that's the piece that a lot of people miss in this journey, is understanding that food should never be a diet. It should really just be like a healthier way of looking at things and a healthier lifestyle for each individual person. When you came to me and you're like, man, should I change out my workouts, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you can do whatever you want at the end of the day. But you have to understand that if you really, like, if you come into a gym, and not just you, but anybody, if you go into a gym and you want to lose weight, then food is something that you're going to have to change. But if you're conscious of knowing that you have to change it, but you're just really not willing to change it, then you have to be okay with that, right? And that's how I explained it too. Like, you just have to be okay with knowing that you're just crappy with food, and sometimes you just make crappy decisions, and it is what it is. But you have to understand that and appreciate that, and you can't blame everything else for the mindset that you have around nutrition. And I think that that's where the shift came for you, because now that you just kind of made peace with that piece of yourself, now all of a sudden you're making just better choices, because you've kind of made peace with that part of who you are, and embraced like the fact you just like food. Because I'm the same way. I just embrace it. Like, I know that if I want abs, like, I know that I have to give up, right? You know, I have to give up the shitty food. But then if the opportunity cost of giving up what you want to do for abs is not higher, then don't do it.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you will lose those abs 6 weeks down the road when you're sick and tired of giving up something that you forced yourself to give up.
Exactly. What I was going to say, and that's really, I think the big shift is that it's now more natural. And I've been here for a year, and so you guys are probably like, Shauna, you can eat just fine. Like, you know exactly, I do know exactly what I should be doing.
Right.
It's not a secret, but it's that mind shift of feeling like I'm having to force myself into something versus being very natural with it and comfortable with it, if that makes sense.
Yep.
The workouts, you get stronger and you get used to it and you build up a routine. But the nutrition is a big chunk of it too, and eating is a big chunk of it too, depending on what results you're looking to get.
Exactly.
So.
Whatever you want out of this, you're going to get. But if you force yourself to completely shift to a mindset that you're not used to, and then you force it and like shove it, literally shove it down your throat, you might be able to do it for a little while, but it's not sustainable for the rest of your life. So I think with you is like your mindset really shifted, like you said, to like what I can do in the gym versus what I can do outside of the gym. And I think once you figured that out, it was like you just felt this sense of like peace and calm and like, okay, I'm cool with like where I'm at, and like the fact that I know how I am and I embrace who I am and how I am. And I think also your confidence level has shifted too, of like I'm feel good in my skin no matter what I look like, because I can jump on a tall box and I can lift heavy weights, and I couldn't do that when I came in here. And that's the stuff I appreciate more than how skinny I look in a pair of jeans, right? Exactly. And I think that that's a huge shift, because I am identity. That's why I connected so well with you when you and I had that conversation, because I'm just like you. I'm the same exact way. And I'm okay. And it took me a while to figure that. It does. It takes a while. It takes a while to embrace that. But when you do, it's like, man, I'm okay with who I am and how I am. Like you just have to love yourself for what you are.
And I think it's only helped when I walk in and get ready to kind of attack the day or attack the workout. I don't know if you've noticed, but even over the last 2 or 3 weeks, I feel like my workouts are better. I'm going harder, I'm doing this, and I may have to stop a little more, but I'm pushing myself more from that mental perspective, where there was a point 6 months ago I was like, okay, and I would just kind of chill at the workout, and it's like, okay, how do I find that way to re-energize and kind of put that mind shift back? And it really happened, and I'm so glad I'm still sticking it through, and I'm still with all of these, switching up my routine a little bit. That's hard to do, but when you find that life gets in the way, how do you make these things still a priority? And if it's 5 a.m. workouts, then you know what, you come to the 5 a.m. and you get it done. That's right. And then you go to work, and then you go to class, and you just do it.
You've got to be willing to make the changes if you want to continue to better your life. And I think that that's what's so important. So I kind of want to wrap things up here with you, Shauna. This is the question I always ask all the girls at the end, and it's I want you to speak to the Shaunas of the world out there, the pre-MP Shaunas of the world out there, the people who were collegiate athletes, who were injury after, because you're not the only one. There's a lot, injury after injury after injury, who are sitting there like just trying to like push the button to go. I want you to give them your best piece of advice on how they should react at this point where they are in their life to start their journey.
I think if there's anything I could do from an advice perspective, it's don't give up. Don't think injury is the end of anything athletic in your life. And I really think it's to also change your mindset of what it means to be an athlete. Just because you may not be competing with a team on a soccer field or a basketball court, I've actually found a new team, and a team that I really embrace and really enjoy and really have the support of, and that's everybody here at this gym. I mean, it's the truth. And it's a different way of seeing myself as an athlete and what I'm producing and how I'm making myself feel. Where the injury is it's not the end. And you can overcome it. I've done it time and time again, and to your point, I'm not the only one. Injury happens, but make sure that you just kind of do your best to get over it. It's hard. Even when I get hurt here, I'm like, here we go again, and you find yourself starting to get in that rut, and I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna do it. So just keep your head up, do what you can, take it slow. Like I said, if people don't even really know where I started, and they're shocked that every exercise I did when I first started was modified, and it was modified for a good 6 months. It is what it is, and it's okay for that to be there while you watch yourself grow and get stronger.
And I think to that point is that now you get the opportunity to look back at where you were, and it makes you see yourself in a whole different light.
It really
It just gives you a different appreciation for yourself and where you've come. So thank you so much for sharing, Shauna. Shauna is a staple here at our studio. She's been with us for over a year. She is a veteran here, and I know that we appreciate your presence here. We appreciate the love and the support that you bring to all of the other ladies here. So I forgot to grab your shirt, and they're actually behind me, but you do get a shirt for being on the Coffee with MP show. So this is your shirt. So everybody who comes on here is always like, oh, I'm so scared. Shauna actually wasn't like that. She was like, I'm totally fine. She reached out to me. She's like, I'd love to be on the Coffee with MP show. But this is your shirt, Shauna. There you go. Thank you so much for being on the show with us today. Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for joining us today. If you like this episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel or find our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever your favorite place is to listen to podcasts might be. And if you really liked this episode, please leave a review for us on iTunes. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.